Thank you, Rebecca. We're all wondering when it's going to clear up, and it's not yet.
No, unfortunately not. And David Pilston of the Save Our Seabirds saying that they've had a lot of the cormorants come in today. They're getting slammed with birds that are sick as a result of the red tide that's going on. And the midweek report has come out. We have our own disaster taking place right here. This red that you see is not hurricane warnings, but that is indicating high concentrations of red tide are back in full effect across west central Florida. 125 miles of coastline stretching from Collier County northward up into Pinellas now. And you see those high concentrations even extending out into the Gulf of Mexico, some 10 miles offshore, and unfortunately it's not going away anytime soon. You know, we get that nice east wind, it makes it seem a little bit nicer out there along the coast in some areas, but as soon as that sea breeze kicks in, yes, it does bring that red tide back on shore too, and kind of makes the flow back toward the coast. Now we're going to stay with an east wind tomorrow, but those high concentrations not going away anytime soon. It just doesn't vanish overnight just because of a few days of east wind. You can see this east and northeasterly wind flow here. It's moving toward our coast as a result of the high pressure just to the north of the state. There will be some convergence set up. We will see some showers popping up here and there over the next several hours as this east coast sea breeze makes it all the way over to the west coast, and you can see that west coast breeze has now made its way inland. This is an outflow boundary from some earlier storms. The sea breeze is kind of hung up along I-75 here, so as this moves closer, there'll be a few pop-up showers here and there. Wouldn't cancel any plans right now, but keep an eye to the sky and keep your ABC 7 First Alert weather app handy. You can kind of follow those storms if they break out near your area. As far as the tropical tracker goes, obviously the big storm is Florence right now, but it is loaded up there in the Atlantic right now, and it looks like it could even stay offshore on Friday. Friday it's expected to be very close to the Carolina coast, or North Carolina coast near Myrtle Beach, and then move to the southwest as high pressure builds to the north of it. Once it gets far enough to the west, it will go around the periphery of that high pressure ridge and go right through the Appalachians, bringing heavy rainfall and flooding concerns there into western portions of North Carolina and even into Tennessee. But the big concern obviously is storm surge, heavy rain, and the potential of a major hurricane moving on in to that region. It looks like the timing of it, this would be, again, this is Thursday, up to 155 mile-an-hour gusts, 125 sustained. Still a strong storm here at 1:15. This is, again, Friday. And then Saturday, moving off to the west, southwest, and still hanging around with 80 mile-an-hour winds. So that's just going to hammer the coast there with some high surf. As far as power outages are concerned, this is going to be severe. We're talking severe scale all the way through parts of the eastern portions of North Carolina, and high concentrations as well inland. So I think that'll be a big factor as well. Power outages widespread throughout the Carolinas for that matter. And then the rainfall. We're talking 20 inches plus, and the yellow that you see right there, that's the European forecast model. The GFS puts a little bit more emphasis into North Carolina as far as that 20 to 30 inch range goes. It's not that healthy on the satellite imagery tonight. We're not seeing the deep reds around the center. That's good. But the bad thing is, and I'm trying to tell people, is that when it gets a major hurricane, it expands its wind field. Those tropical storm force winds extend over 100 miles out from the center, and that is going to cause some significant problems with damage and storm surge, especially to the right of the center. We're expecting up to 17 to 19 in some isolated areas in those inlet areas. Hurricane warnings are in effect, and again, this is the wind radius of that storm as it makes its way in. Tropical storm, not tropical storm, but storm surge warnings are up along the Carolina coast all the way into South Carolina. Well, I'm just going to circle the whole map of the Atlantic and the Caribbean, the Gulf of Mexico. But no, we do have many different systems that are breaking out right now. You can see this one up here is now subtropical storm Joyce. This is Helene, this is Isaac, and this is soon to be Kirk as it heads off toward Texas. Well, I want to show you this one real quick. Doesn't appear that it's going to do much. It could even open up to a tropical wave as it makes its way toward the islands. But we'll have to watch it here in the Central Caribbean. There's a chance that it could get going again, but not much. The intensity forecasting a little suspect at this point. Our high today, by the way, real quickly, record-breaking or tying at 94 degrees. East winds turn to the northwest at 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be 1 to 2 feet and a light chop on the bays and inland waters. The extended forecast then does call for a chance for scattered afternoon and evening storms on Thursday, Friday, less of a chance on Saturday. It looks to be a pretty good weekend. Then we'll get back to afternoon storms through next week. Back to you.